Hi everyone, this is IS6480 on Group 3, and we are going to present DVD rentals data warehouse today. Next, please meet our group members, and we have Tanner, our group project leader, and we have Ben, Xingyue, and Qingmei as our group member. Next. The executive summary. As we all know that Retroflix DVD rental company is a DVD rental store which rents out DVDs to customers for a specific period of time. The company wants to perform a thorough analysis and a positive impact revenue by analyze rental activity of customer at various store locations. And we decide to implement a data warehouse solution for this project. We identify the appropriate grouping of the data and design the data warehouse dimensional model. And then we build a single fact table. And then we're setting up a stage area and a presentation area. And then we finish with generate the dashboard in the meetings. Next. The Retroflix DVD rental company is a DVD rental business company. It has physical store in both Canada and Australia. The company has customers in over 109 countries. The company rents film DVDs to customers for a specific time period of time. Next. The vision of the business to be a one-stop solution for all sorts of films in different categories that can appeal to everyone customers. The primary objective of the company is to increase revenue by analyzing rental activities in different countries, performance of stores and staff at different periods of time in a calendar year. So this will help the company identify the trends and the patterns. The product service. And for this company, it has thousands of DVD films, and the films have 16 different categories with 6 different languages. And also it has cross-selling products such as the 4K television set. Next. Next gonna be Ben, he's gonna go over with the requirements.
Right, so our requirements are representative of what we believe the Retroflix DVD rental company, the information, the analysis that they would like to have for their company using this data warehouse. And so this represents, their desire to have an analysis about where their emerging or descending markets are by country. Also to look at their stores and which ones are generating the most lease sales to try to figure out what they can do to improve on that. They also want, we'd imagine they'd also want to see which film titles are most popular. And that they would also want to identify the customers who do the most purchases for the purposes of deciding if they could offer discounts or any kind of promotions for them. There's also analysis on rental sales by category or genre. And there's rental sales based off of the city where the stores are located to see if again, with the emerging and descending markets there, to see if these stores might be in trouble, maybe where they need to cut back or move. Next. This is our business matrix, which represents the business processes that each of the stores has, along with the associated dimensions that we've identified that we want to pull data from and use in the analysis. So we have customer rentals, store inventory, customer returns, retail sales, accounts payable, retail sales forecast, and customer signups. Next. This represents the dimensional model that we've come up with. We have 6 dimensions, as well as a single fact table named fact. And we are using keys, warehouse keys from each one of these dimensions. There is the rental date key, the customer key, the film key, the store key, and the staff key that make up the primary key of the fact rental table. And then we're also including the keys that exist in each of these dimensions as part of the fact table. There are no calculations that are being done in the fact rental. It's just bringing together, tying together all of these dimensions so that analysis can be performed. Next. And Tanner will be our next presenter for the data warehouse architecture.
Yep, sorry about that, I was on mute. So I'm going to talk about the data warehouse architecture. For our architecture, we decided to go with a Kimball data warehouse business intelligence architecture. Really, the staple of this architecture is that there's 4 separate elements in this architecture. There's the operational source data, the ETL system, which includes the staging area, the data presentation area, and the business intelligence application. I'm going to tell you a few more things about all these different areas and give you a little more information now. So our source system, right now we currently have one source system. It is a Postgres database called DVD rental, and it is a transactional database that acts as the back end of the DVD rental application that is used by the stores. So that is where we are getting all of our information from. There's 15 tables that comprise the DVD rental database. So let's talk about the ETL process now. The first step in the ETL process is to create our staging area. That is, again, a Postgres database called DW Retroflix Staging. In our first job in our ETL process, all of which is done in Talend, we create that staging area and then move all of the data through an extraction process in Talend into the staging area from the source system. This is done with everything in the data type of text, and it is placed in 15 corresponding tables that match to those original tables in the source system. This avoids any transformations or data cleaning during this part to avoid any additional stress on the transactional system to ensure optimal performance there. After we've extracted that data and put it in the staging area, we go on with the transformation and loading of that data. We do that with 5 jobs that create the different dimensional tables. In those jobs, essentially, we're creating a presentation area table and then going in, pulling the information from the staging area and placing it in the presentation area. One interesting dimension that we'll talk about a little bit is the date dimension. During this process, we create a single date dimension that's used as a role-playing dimension that we actually create views in the presentation area on top of it to alias all of the fields and columns to make it so that it is more representative of where that is going to be used as keys. And that becomes the return and the rental dates. With that one, also, we don't actually pull from any specific table. Instead, we generate a date range and then extract different date parts from it. This avoids us pulling from a table like the rental table and getting the rental dates where that may not have all the return dates as well. Final step is we create the fact table. This is done again by pulling information from the staging area, but also mapping to the presentation area dimensions in order to get those dimensional keys that will be used in that fact table. And so that is how we go about generating that. Finally, again, about the presentation area a little bit more. This is where we're collecting all of that information that came from the staging tables after we've done the transformations and have loaded it, and it will live here in our DW Retroflix presentation, which is again a Postgres database. Next, Chinmay is going to talk to you a little bit more about the business intelligence application layer and some of the configuration there.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Lana. So after physically implementing our data warehouse, we decided that in order to provide a business intelligence solution, we used Metabase for creating reports and dashboards. So in order to, as part of security configuration, we first created a separate group for Retroflix marketing, which will have all the employees and executives from the Retroflix marketing team, and restricted access only to those executives. We created a separate collection which will have dashboards of the marketing team and restricted access to that collection to only those set of executives. We created a second dashboard which is a public dashboard having access to all users. So in this way, we made sure that the access was restricted to different sets of users, to Retroflix marketing executives, and to all sets of users. Next. So some of the reports and dashboards that we built were the rental count by store country, top 10 rented films, top 10 customers, top films by revenue, and rental sales by store city, and rental sales per day by store location and film category. We'll give you more information and detail in the next slide. So next, please. Okay. So the first one talks about rental count by store country. In this visualization, we can analyze the country where where Retroflix are getting their most movies rented. So this visualization gives an insight into that. The next one is top 10 rented films. It helps in the analysis of which films are performing well, and hence it will help the company in stocking up their inventory with these set of film DVDs. The next one is the top 10 customers by rental count. So this is just a sample visualization that can give an insight into the top customers of the company. It will help the company launch some sort of loyalty programs or giving incentives to the top customers of the company. The next one is top films by revenue. It gives information regarding the top films which are generating the highest revenue. And using this, the company can launch some promotions to help boost its sales. The next two visualizations are basically rental sales by store city. As you can see, we have two stores in two separate locations. The first one gives an aggregate sales count, sales number, and the second one gives the rental sales per day over time by the location. So these were some of the sample visualizations that we built that would help the company analyze its rental activity. Next. So we realized that we can build a few dashboards and reports that can be built. So we have a excellent set of initial reports, but we figured out there are many additional reports that can be generated using the data warehouse that we've built. So below are some of the additional reports outside the outlined requirements that could be generated. The first one is average rentals by the day of week. Using this, the organization can increase staffing on these days where the rentals the sales of the rentals are the most, so it can improve the customer rental experience. And additionally, we can also launch some promotional campaigns on these days. The next one that can potentially be built is weekly rentals by film age. Using the data available in the dimensional model, we could analyze the amount of rentals each week that come from newer films versus films that were released a while ago. The next one talks about late returns. We can launch some sort of late fees, or the films that are commonly returned late, we could increase the rental duration for those. So the next one is rentals by rating. Using this visualization, we can get information to decide what movies we can add to a collection. That rentals by rating will help us in that. Year-over-year rentals will help us compare performance of our business over the last few years and the current year. And the last one, we can rentals by customer location will help us basically to give us an insight into where we can launch our stores in the future. So these are the future dashboards that can be built using our data warehouse. Next. So that was it from our guys. On behalf of everyone, I would like to thank you